What's going on, YouTube? It's Matt Faircloth. Welcome to the Mentorship Monday program. Let me bring in my co-host, Justin Fraser. Come on, Justin.
First up, we've got Chris. Hey, Chris Pierce. How are you, man?
What's going on, Chris?
Mentorship Monday, Chris.
How you doing?
Good.
I have two questions today.
Bring it on, man. What can we do for you?
Well, the first original question was if it's possible to wholesale commercial properties or large buildings or complexes.
People think that wholesaling only can happen on single-family homes or whatever, but all a wholesale is taking interest that they have in the contract and in the property. So, you know, me as a wholesaler, I've got interest in this property that I put under contract, and I'm selling that interest I have to you. So I'm selling my contract or my interest in that property to you for a fee or for whatever it is I can negotiate from you, right? There is no rule, there is no law that says that property has to be a single family home, a duplex, triplex, or anything like that. I will say that I don't see it very often. And I've been offered wholesale portfolios before on apartment complexes. The problem is, wholesalers can kind of get the greed gland flowing sometimes, and the markups can tend to be a little excessive. And that's number one. And number two, more than anything else, it is very hard to convince the owner of a multifamily to even just sell to you direct, even further to work with you under a wholesale agreement. Multifamily owners tend to have more outs, more things they can do. It's easier for them to refinance. They could, multifamily is pretty hot right now, so they could just call the local Marcus and Millichap broker and boom, bingo, bango, they got it sold, right? So the problem that a wholesaler would face in trying to wholesale multifamily is simply that owners, although could be in extreme distress, still have options to get out from under their property, even take a little bit of a haircut if they need to get rid of it real fast or whatever. Short answer to your question is no, there's no rule against wholesaling multifamily, and it can and does happen, but it doesn't happen very frequently because of the marketplace and because of the options that multifamily owners have. Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you've got to go to the mindset of the seller and think about what is the seller's motivation. Why would they come to you as a wholesaler versus going to any of the brokers that know their town? Often what we'll see is a seller maybe doesn't want a publicly advertised deal on LoopNet, and they don't want 1,000, tire kickers or something. So they might tell a broker that they want to do it as a sort of a silent listing or a quick listing where only a small group of investors get that list or get that property. But again, that's going through a broker. So I think that as the seller, I'm not really sure what a motivation I would have to going to a wholesaler who may or may not have any kind of track record. And even if you had a huge track record in smaller properties, again, what's the extra value add? So if you can figure out that value proposition, you might have a shot. But I would have to be really convinced that there's extra value there rather than calling the broker.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But all that said, Chris, tell me more. Are you looking to buy multi through a wholesaler, or are you considering doing an effort to wholesale multifamily yourself?
I was thinking of just doing it myself.
Finding a multifamily and wholesaling it.
Yes.
So if you're going to go through the work of finding a really good, let's say it's got to be a really good multifamily deal, right? Because if you're going to try to wholesale it and take a markup, right, it's probably a really good deal anyway. So rather than a traditional wholesale, what you might want to do is find that property and bring it to someone that has the experience to take it on in exchange for a percentage equity in the project, right? So you're really acting as an acquisition.
Find a broker to bring it to you?
No, not a broker, a buyer. Right?
Find a buyer.
No, hang on. What he's saying, Chris, is that let's say you find 123 Main Street, it's a 20-unit property, and you're thinking, man, I can wholesale this thing because you're talking to the owner direct. The owner just says what his number is to get out, and it's worth more than what he's saying he wants to get for his property. So you see that as a wholesale opportunity, right? Well, if you want to check, then you could wholesale that and make a nice check. If you want equity and upside potential, and probably over the life cycle of the property, multiples more of the check that you would get, but probably spread out over the next 5-10 years, right? Then you could take equity. But what Justin's saying is, if you have a deal like that, you could probably negotiate ownership of the property with the buyer, with the new syndicator, with the apartment building owner that likes to buy apartment buildings, and maybe negotiate some skin in the game for yourself in the deal for bringing it to them, or you get yourself a check. So it's like money now versus money over 5-10 years, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So you got choices. Here's a few tips. Find properties with the owners have owned the property for more than 10 years. More than 15 years is even better. And if it's more than 20, gold mine, because that's a tired owner that got into business before the internet became popular and is probably doing marketing tactics that are pre-internet level marketing tactics. I'm talking about, I've come across owners that are still listing their property for rent in the newspaper, right?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. We bought a 49 unit off of a guy that had a handwritten for rent sign on the front of the place. The knowledge of technology, there was a gap there, and then there was a desire to sell bent along with it. So you can find somebody who hasn't kept up with the times and is also looking to sell, just get out from under it. And right now is a good time because coronavirus perhaps caused the straw that broke it on that seller right now.
The more value, the more margin that you can get from it.
Sure. Oh yeah. Right. Because that's what the wholesaler's profit is. The wholesaler's profit is, the delta of what they have it under contract for versus the real value of the property, or what they believe the market will yield for it. So the better deal you strike, the more money you make.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool. See you there. Thanks, Chris.
Right. Our next guest is Isaac. Isaac, welcome to the show, man.
Isaac, what's up, man?
How are you
guys? Doing good.
Welcome to Mentorship Monday. Thanks for your questions to help me at DeRosaGroup.com. What can I do in your own words? I know you got your write up there, but just tell me in your own words. What's on your mind?
Yeah. So basically, my question was raising private capital via social media, using social media platforms. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Check out the book. Awesome. Thank you so much for adding that. But
Thank you.
So right now I'm working with a partner, and my role in the partnership is raising private capital. And I was wondering your opinion, and I guess if you have any tips and tricks on how you would approach it if you wanted to do it through social media, if that's allowed, because of the whole SEC compliance that obviously we have to follow.
Yeah, you be careful, man. The SEC come after you. So most people use social media in some form or fashion to raise money. It's only because it's the most efficient way to get the word out there about what you're up to, right? If you look at what a lot of folks are doing, you will notice that unless they are registered and filed a certain way with the SEC, they are likely not soliciting, right? Soliciting means, hey, I'm Isaac, and you should invest with me because I'm going to pay you 15%, and it's going to be on that property, and I'm going to give you equity, and it's going to be awesome, and you should invest with me because of this and in this property. That's a solicitation, okay? Now, you can do that if you only take accredited investors, and if you're already set up and filed as exempt with the SEC, and you've already jumped through all those hurdles. Now, my guess is you and your partner are going to start small because you seem smart, so you're going to start a little small and expand out. Okay, you can't solicit because you're trying to draw interest. So here's what you do. Do you guys have anything under contract or anything in the works right now?
So we have 2 deals right now. We put in an offer on. It was last week. So he hasn't updated me on that yet as far as we were accepted or not. But yes, we do have 2 right now.
Okay.
We put offers in, yeah.
So you do informational based posts. Hey, I'm so excited that I just put that property under contract. Can you guys believe? Look at this house. I'm going to make it better. I'm going to make it awesome. And my investors are going to do really well on that property. You don't say, hey, you could invest with me. It's just, I got people and they're invested with me and they're going to do awesome. Drop the mic, right. Leave it like that. So information. Now that's sizzle. So there's sizzle and there's education. You got to do both. Okay. So you do the sizzle that look at how great this is. Look at me. Right. That's what Facebook is really, just a bunch of people pounding the chest. Right. So, do that, but then what do? You're young, so you're on Instagram or you're on what those crazy kids are doing, right? People old like me and Justin are doing Facebook. But what platform are you doing?
Instagram is the platform I'm using right now. Yeah.
Uh-huh. You're almost too old for Instagram, right? You're like, I was thinking about TikTok, right? Yeah.
Just made the Instagram cut. Yeah. TikTok.
Right. Just barely. Yeah. Right. Anyway, that you can do Instagram. Yes. Instagram, as you know, is very photocentric, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to use the filters and take really good pictures of your properties and post them on Instagram. And I mean, like, I see people that raise money just like, hey, in front of their property with a thumbs up. Hey, man, just closed or just put it under contract. But more importantly, what I see people do is they'll put on Instagram stuff like, what do y'all think of these cabinets? What color should I do these floors? Whatever. That's more educational. And also you reach out to your marketplace and get them to engage you. Mm-hmm. I've seen people put like I don't know how to do it because I'm not smart. I'm not techie like this, but I bet you can, is do an Instagram post with a thing they can vote. Like they can click yes or no on the screen, on the picture, right? Stupid stuff like that people can engage with you on what you're doing. And then you're not just Isaac Ramirez, the guy they went to high school with. You're Isaac Ramirez, the real estate investor. Because what you want to do is with Instagram is build awareness. And not awareness of, hey, how great real estate is, because that could be that too. But you could also, just do a post like, hey, I'm a real estate investor, just so people know. Because they think you're something else. Until they figure out you're a real estate investor, they don't know.
Building a reputation online, changing that perception of Isaac from, wherever, the soccer team versus Isaac from that does real estate takes a little bit of time, but it's the consistent post, like Matt said, over and over again. And you probably should use Facebook to reach people that are more senior in age, because those are generally the people that have money, right? So if all the young ones are on Instagram, as Matt said, that's great. You want to connect with them, but you also want to connect with the people that might have a little more cash in their bank account. And where are they? They're probably on Facebook and they're probably on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. Just saying, very, very general terms here. Being educate as well. So not just educating about, hey, what I'm doing with this house, which is very, very good stuff, but then educating. Put up a post of things you learned from Bigger Pockets about how people can invest in real estate, having nothing to do specifically with your deal in particular that you have right now. But hey, you could be a debt investor and I could pay you 8% on this deal and you could get paid every single month. And that's how it works. And all your post is about how it works, right? And then that's content that you can point people to later on as well. But then when the deal comes along, it's, hey, yeah, I've got all these YouTube videos, or I've got this whole library of my blogs about how this whole thing works. Go read about it, right? Be the educational point to those people. As soon as you say, I'm doing this and my investors are earning, if they're interested, they're going to call you anyway. They want a piece of that action. If they're smart and they see that you're doing it over and over again, they're going to call. You're not asking them to invest with you in the post. You're telling them that you're investing, right? It's like, I am investing in real estate and I've had folks invest with me. The end. Right. That's it. You're not asking the question. If you'd like to invest with me, DM me. That's a solicitation, I think. Okay. It's got to be somebody that you've had a few conversations with. So when they reach out, the first conversation should not be, hey, how much money do you have and when can you give it to me? The first conversation should be, tell me about your real estate goals. Tell me what you want to go. And then let me tell you about what I'm doing. And then probably like second or third call, tell them about how they can work with you on deals. It's not going to go that way with everybody, but if you really don't have any relationship with them at all, I recommend a few conversations to build it up. But let's see. Everybody if you guys are watching right now and you choose to do a scientific experiment with Justin and I, screen share, to text this, screen share, take a picture of this, screen share it to your social and tag Justin and I in it. Because we want to see and maybe prove to our man Isaac here the power of social media and how many people will tag us in their posts that they put out there. Just a little experiment. Let's see what you guys do. Isaac, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great and profitable week.